Hi, welcome to my video on find the equation of a parabola using the f of x notation. That's the f of x function notation. Number one, a parabola has an axis of symmetry of x equals 2, a minimum value of negative 3, passing through the point 413. A, find the equation as the f of x equals a outside of x minus h all squared plus k, and that's the vertex form in the function notation. So we have an axis of symmetry, so that means the axis of symmetry x equals 2. The axis of symmetry goes through the vertex. So the axis of symmetry is x equals 2, that's like that. So that means the vertex has an x coordinate of 2. That's x equals 2. The vertex lies somewhere on this vertical line. And if the minimum point is a negative 3, that means the negative 3, the minimum point is the y value of the vertex. So we have a vertex of 2, negative 3, which is right there. And it's a minimum, so that means the parabola is going to open up. So that means the a is going to be positive. So if we have a vertex, let's put the vertex in the parabola of, and let's make, instead of f of x, let's use a y to keep things okay. Instead of f of x, let's use a y. So y equals a, the vertex is 2 for the x, so there's an x minus 2 squared minus 3. And what happens? We have passing through this point, so the point that it's going to pass through is 413, so that's the x and the y. Remember, the vertex is the h and the k. So we put 13 in the place of y, and we put 4 in the place of x, and we solve this equation, and we got to do the inside the bracket first, which is the 2. 2 squared gives me 4, so there's a 4a minus 3. I could move the a over, but what I'm going to do is leave the 4a on the right side and move the negative 3 to the left side to become plus. So 4a equals 16, and divide by 4, I have a equals 4. So the equation is y equals a is 4, and if a is 4, then the vertex is an x minus 2 squared minus 3. So that's the equation in the vertex form in terms of y. So what we'll do, we'll take that equation and we'll rewrite the y as the f of x. So now we have the function, notate f of x in the vertex form, because we changed the y. Remember, the f of x is equal to the y. We said that before. So since we have this equation, let's do b. Find x if the f of x equals 33. So the f of x is equal to 4 times x minus 2 all squared minus 3. Therefore, that means that 4x minus 2 squared minus 3 is equal to 33. So the f of x is equal to 33. The f of x is equal to this expression. So therefore, this expression, which is 4 times x minus 2 all squared minus 3, must equal 33. So we're going to solve this for x. But we have a square here. So let's move the negative 3 to the right side, make it plus. And we simplify the right side to 36. Divide by 4. The 4's cancel, and I get x minus 2 squared equals 9. Notice I have a square, so therefore I'll do the square root of both sides. It's a simpler way to do it. Plus minus the square root of 9. You have the square root of the left side is the square root of x minus 2 all squared, and then you'd go plus minus the root of 9. That's an x minus 2 equals plus minus 3. So x equals 2 plus or minus 3. X equals 2 plus 3 or 2 minus 3. So x is equal to 5 or negative 1. So that's the values of x that will give you the f of x 33. So if you did the f of negative 1, you would come up with a 33. If you did the f of 5, you would come up with a 33. Remember, the f of x is negative 1. So if you put a negative 1 into this equation right here, the f of negative 1, put a negative 1 in, you'll get a 33. If you do the f of 5, x is 5. If you put 5 in this equation, you'll get a 33. So that's the using the f of x notation. And we have another one to do. So if you want, you can pause your video and see if you can work this out yourself. Be my guest. A parabola has x-intercepts of negative 8 and 2. The maximum value of 9. So we want to find equation. Find equation as the f of x equals a times x minus s bracket times x minus t. This is the x-intercept form. So let's change the f of x to a y just to be consistent so we won't get confused. So remember, the f of x is the y. So I change the f of x to a y. Since we have x-intercepts of negative 8, that means y. If we have a negative 8, that means it's an x plus 8 when we put it in the equation. If we have an x-intercept of 2, putting it in the equation gives a minus 2. So opposites, the x-intercepts are negative 8 and 2. So it's x plus 8, x minus 2. Opposites. Note, when you put a negative 8 right here, you'll get a 0. When you put a 2 here, you get a 0. So negative 8 going in here will give you y0. Negative 2 going in here will give you y0. So that's part of the equation. Now, how do we move on to get the value of a? Well, we have x-intercepts. Let's look at the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are negative 8 and 2. So this is the x-axis. So if that's negative 8 and 2 on the x-axis, halfway between that is the midpoint. And because these are x-intercepts, remember your parabola is, and it's a maximum, so that means your parabola is up here coming down with the axis of symmetry. So right in the middle of negative 8 plus 2 divided by 2, which is negative 6 divided by 2, negative 3. The axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3. So this vertex, this coordinate right here is a negative 3. So the vertex, if the axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3, x is equal to negative 3, that's the x-coordinate vertex or the axis of symmetry. So I put a negative 3 for the vertex, and the maximum value is 9. The maximum or minimum value is always the y value of your vertex. So the vertex is negative 3, 9. Why negative 3? Because it's halfway between negative 8 and 2. Notice 5, 10 units between these two numbers. And 10 divided by 5, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 5 units this way gives you negative 3. 5 units to the right gives you negative 3. So now we have a vertex. So what we'll do, we'll take the vertex and we'll put 9 in the place of y. We'll put a negative 3 in the place of x. And we'll solve the equation for a. We get a 5, negative 5. A equals negative 25a. We can leave the a there and move it. It's your choice. So divide by negative 25. And so negative 25 cancels out. So a is a negative 9 over 25. And we have y equals a is negative 9 over 25. And again, is an x plus x plus 8 and an x minus 2. So there's the x-intercepts of negative 8 and 2 with a. Notice it's negative. which is true because it's what? Because it's a maximum, it's coming down. So the vertex is up right there. There's your vertex of x is negative 3 and y is 9. Remember, the y-axis is somewhere here. That's a 2, so there's 0 roughly right there. So there's your y-axis. Now we have the equation that we found, and we have to put it in the f of x notation. So we got a negative 9 over 25, x plus 8, x minus 2. So I did it in terms of y first, and then I converted my y to f of x. Y to the f, converted, sorry, my y to f of x notation. Now I want to find the f of negative 7. Remember, the f of x. So that means x is equal to 7. So if I go f of x is a negative 25, negative 9 over 25, x plus 8, x minus 2. So the f of 7, it means x is 7. So I'll put 7 in my equation. 7 goes into place of x. Again, the f of x, the f of 7, x is 7. So x is 7, and I simplify the equation. 7, add on, oh, that's an 8. I almost made a mistake. I just happened to look back. 7 plus 8 is 15. 7 minus 2 is 5. Now I'm multiplying with a fraction. So 5 into 5 goes once, 5 into 25 goes 5. 5 into 5 goes once, 5 into 15 goes 3. So I cancel, because that's over 1 and that's over 1. So when I'm multiplying, I can cancel anywhere from top to bottom. So that gives me a negative 27. So the f of 7, is negative 27. So that's the ordered pair of 7, negative 27. So the f of x, remember, the f of x is, just remember, the f of x is your y. So the f of 7 is negative 27, so the negative 27 is your y value in your ordered pair. Let's continue. F of x function notation. Now we have another one to do, the last one, number 3. Again, pause the video and see if you can work these out correctly. Here we go. A parabola passes through 2, 5, and 4, 5. And the range is y is greater than or equal to negative 1. Find the equation as the f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's standard form. So it passes through these 2 points. Well, let's look at these 2 points. Let's look at these 2 points on a graph. Oops, draw a straight line if I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the x, and this is the y. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the parabola passes through 2, 5. X is 2, y is 5. That's right there. And it passes through 4, 5. 4, 5. And it says the range is y is greater than or equal to negative 1. Well, I know, and hopefully you know, that the range is what the values of y are in your graph. So the range is the values of y. So the range is starting at greater than or equal to negative 1. So that means the y value of your vertex is negative 1. And if the y value of your vertex is negative 1, so the negative 1 is down here, right here, along here somewhere. Okay? So what happens, notice that these 2 points are the same y values of 5. So that's a 2. Notice the x is 2 and the x is 4. So if we add them together and divide by 2, we'll get a 3. So because these 2 points have the same y values, right in the middle is the axis of symmetry. Right in the middle is x equals 3. And that's the x coordinate of the vertex, 3. between the 2 and the 4. 3 is in the middle, so the x-coordinate of the vertex is 3. And the range is -1. That's the y value of the vertex. So I have a vertex form. So y equals a outside of x minus h all squared plus k. So y equals, and x, that's a 3. So this is an x minus 3. We change the sign. We don't change this sign. So there's the vertex form. Now, how are we going to find the value of a? Well, we have 2 points here. So we have, remember, the vertex is h comma k. So let's take one of these points. So let's take the point 4, 5. We could take the point 2, 5 if you want. So if this is h comma k, we'll take this other point to be x and y. So y is 5, x is 4, and the only unknown now is a, so we'll solve this equation for a. So 4 minus 3 is 1, 1 squared is 1. So 5 equals a minus 1. Leave the a where it is and move the 1 over, make it plus. So a becomes 6. So the equation, y equals a is 6, and the vertex is a 3, so that's an x minus 3 with a minus 1. So I put a in right here to get this equation. Now, that's the vertex form. I want the standard form. So what we have to do is take our time and square this out. We have to remove the square, remove the bracket. So we'll do FOIL on this. X times x is x squared. X times -3, -3x. -3 times x is -3x. -3 times -3 is a +9. So that's y equals, I simplify this polynomial as x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 1. And I'll simplify by multiplying by 6, 6x squared minus 36x, 6 9s are 54, minus 1. So y equals 6x squared minus 36x plus 53. And that's in standard form like here, but the y, we change the y to an f of x. And that leads us to the equation in the standard form, in the function notation. Okay, here's the equation. Now we have the find x if the f of x is 23. So remember, the f of x is equal to the equation of that we just found. That means that 6x squared minus 36x plus 53 is equal to 23. Both are equal to the f of f, so they're equal to each other. So we're going to solve this equation. We got a quadratic. I'm going to move all terms to the left side. 23 becomes a minus. 6x squared minus 36x. That's a, see, I put an X there, but I'm talking, so I make a mistake. So there's the 53. So that's a plus 30. Caught myself again. Those mistakes. Got to stay away from making the mistakes. 6x squared minus 36, correct. 53 minus 23, 30. Now I got two choices. I can divide, I can remove the 6 by factoring, like that. And then I continue to factor. 6 is the GCF here. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. Negative 36 divided by 6 is negative 6x. And 30 divided by 6 is 5. X squared is x and x. Factors of 5 are 5 and 1. Product is positive. Sum is negative. So it's a negative 5, negative 1. So x minus 5 equals 0. Or x minus 1 equals 0. X is 5. X is 1. Notice I got a 6 here. I can't say 6 equals 0. So that's, the 6 is a constant. So the 0 is going to come from these two brackets right here, not from the 6. The 6 is a constant, because 6 times 0 will give you a 0. So the values of x that will give you 23, there's 2 of them, x's, and notice there's 2 of them, because the parabola at, if you think about it, the parabola is got the vertex of 3, -1. The parabola is doing this, opening up, like that. There's the vertex. There's the 2 points that we had to draw on the graph. And the parabola keeps going. So when 23 is way up here, so there's 2 values across here. Those are the 2 values of x, which are 5 and -1. 5 and 1. I looked at and see 5 and 1. So that's working through with the function notation, which is the f of x is the same as what we did before, only we had it in terms of y. And that brings us to the end. Again, if you like my video, click the like button, subscribe button, and notification. And visit my website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.